Israel-Palestine.
Hey,
Hey, do you have a side?
already, I have it already. If you're asking me if I already have a side
Yeah,
on,
because you got them both up in there, the two, Israel and Palestine. I have a side.
I can tell.
That's what I'm trying to. I can't tell. That's why I'm asking. I gotta be a little brazen, a little upfront.
I just wanted to know if I could catch someone here that could talk or not. I don't
You
know.
caught me. You caught someone. I can talk
That
a
can
lot,
talk.
a lot.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's see. But I know that you can talk a lot, but it depends what you say. What do you say?
I say that my people's survival depends on us having a nation. We tried living under other nations. Did not go well, bro. They put us to the sword. They put us to the stake. They put us in ovens. And so, khalas, habibi, no more. And now we have a nation. And when people try to slaughter us, we have a military. And it turns out we're actually quite good at defending our borders. And so that's what I think. I think thank God that we have a nation. And thank God that my children have a future.
Obviously, I don't want your kids to die. I don't want a kid to die. I don't want any of that. I'm not that idea that any Jew in the world should die. I'm not that type of man. I'm not that type of idea. I want to start with this because we need to clarify this. And I gotta say, I think that can we start from the fact that you are in Israel? Probably why? Because I have pretty certainty that you could have choose a lot more places that you could go, but you choose that place, if I remember correctly, because it was free pretty much at the moment because the English had that as a colony and they wanted to get rid of it and get a friendly nation there, not a Muslim nation in that part of the region, which is a historically complex and really divided region for a lot of different causes that I don't want to talk here because it
Okay.
goes so back there.
Just
And
before we move on, could I ask a
how can
question
I?
on that?
Yes, yes.
So the motivation for the just to understand and to still man the opposition, Britain didn't want to see a Muslim nation or an Arab nation in Palestine, and that's why they supported the Jewish Zionist movement. Is that a fair replaying of what you said?
I think that this is one of the main
Okay,
reasons that Israel started as a nation. Obviously, what you
perfect. That
said.
makes sense.
Obviously,
Can I
what
just
you
ask?
obviously. Ah, yes, yes.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off because I just before I lose my chain of thought, I've got a terrible
Mhm.
memory. And so, what time period are we talking here? Is this like
This
19
is
what?
after the Second World War. After
Okay.
they start. Obviously, already some Jews were there before the Second World War. I think the first Jews started to go to Israel to Palestine in what 1800s. I think latest 1800s.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. I just want to test your case. So, if I could show you that that wasn't a motivation of the British, would that challenge your position at all? Like, would that cause you to think at all?
no, I always think that I always read on this shit and I
Okay.
always.
So let me just explain a fact to you that you might not be aware of. British were awarded mandate over what they called Palestine, British Mandatory Palestine, in 1920. The
Yes,
first,
what everyone called that region and what.
it's not, but we'll get there in a minute. We'll get there in a minute. And the first thing they did was gave 78% of Palestine to a Muslim. Do you know who that Muslim was?
The name of the man? No,
Yeah, yeah. Have you heard
no.
of someone called Abdullah, Amir Abdullah?
Yes, I heard of him.
Yeah. So Amir Abdullah, who was born in Mecca, a long, long way from Israel, Palestine, marched in with an army in 1920. Alec Kirkbride, who was then in charge, he was a diplomat in charge of an area he called Moab, and he ran the government of Moab. So Abdullah marches in, and Kirkbride greets him. And Kirkbride records this in his biography, in his diary, memoir. That's the right word. Records it in his memoir, and he describes how Abdullah asks him, "How's the government of Moab doing?" And Kirkbride, I'm paraphrasing, basically says, "This is just a matter of." It's not a concern anymore now that Your Highness is here. And he basically hands him the keys. Churchill, Chamberlain, Lawrence of Arabia, Abdullah, and a few others meet in Cairo at the Cairo Peace Conference a few months later. And the deal is formalized. And who then becomes King Abdullah, receives 78% of mandatory Palestine. He was a Muslim and given 78%. The British armed him and ran his army and manned his army, Al-Jaysh al-Arabiya, in the 48 war. So they had a strong alliance, even when the Jews and the British were fighting each other. The loyalty between Jordan and Britain remained unbroken.
Yes, they did it in a lot of other places with a lot of other colonies. Yes, yes.
But does that not kind of contradict what you were saying? You were saying
No,
they didn't want Palestine to be
saying,
Muslim.
no, I was saying that they built something like that because they wanted some a friendly nation, and they built before that because they didn't choose
But you said
before.
Muslim. You said Muslim, and they chose Jewish because I think you were being a bit racist.
What?
I think you were viewing Jews as Europeans. And by the way, the British view of the Jews when the British had the mandate, they liked the Arabs because the Arabs, they had an aristocracy, an ability that was very educated, and they had a class system which was similar to what they had in Europe. And they saw the Jews as revolutionary anarchists and communists and socialists who spoke Yiddish, who didn't partake in any of the institutions that the British built. So the schools that the British built were filled with Arab students rather than Jewish students.
Apart from all the problems that the two different people that could have, apart from this type of problems that you could have, in ex-Yugoslavia, you had similar problems of religion, of politics, and the war started. Okay, but I was saying that you know that other places in the world were in the list of places where Israel could have been not Israel, sorry, but a Jewish state could have been built. You know that in the South of America, in other places, and
And the Jews rejected that because we have no ties to those lands. But coming back to the British, because I think that's the most important part of your argument, because that's what you're saying the state was built on the back of. So hold on, let me just ask you my second question. I got a question for you. The 47 partition vote, the vote to partition the land. So this is to recognize a Jewish state. What happened with the Arab area was to be determined, but the Jews wanted a state. If Britain wanted to see the establishment of a Jewish state, they would vote in favor of that, the partition vote, yes?
they would probably, as you say, as you're phrasing that, they probably voted against. I think, as you're phrasing
They
that.
abstained, yeah, they abstained.
They
refused.
abstained. Okay.
Yeah. And then when Jordan conquered 48, is it them? What they then renamed the West Bank.
Okay.
You like the name. When Jordan conquered that in 1948, it was Judea and Samaria, and renamed it the West Bank, annexed it and made it part of Jordan. That would be Muslims being in control. So the British would be against that, yeah, going by your theory.
Mm-hmm.
But Britain was the only nation, I think, other than Pakistan maybe, that recognised the annexation and recognised what Jordan renamed the West Bank as part of Jordan. So the reason I'm doing all of this is it's clearly not my first rodeo. And
obviously, you are prepared for this. And you have obviously you are reading from something. Obviously, all of that.
So I'm quoting what I'm reading from. I'm reading from the UN resolution and the vote. I'm reading from Kirkbride. I'm reading from David Lloyd George. I'm reading.
No, obviously, you have all your facts. Obviously, man, you're ready. Obviously, you have your facts ready. But can I ask you? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Let's now change a little bit topic, because if we start, here is a lot of there was a treaty and then someone broke it. I will say a lot of times Israel broke it for this and this reason, and I can pull you up a lot of uh, situation in which Israel broke some pacts or something like that, and you could show me uh, moments where Palestine or where Hamas or anyone else broke their promises. I know that, but right now I want to ask you a question. Okay, you
Sure.
live in Israel right now. Okay,
Yes, yes.
and you, from how many years you have born
I'm
there
new to the
or
land. I moved here 2 years ago.
what? Three?
Two, two,
Ah,
2 years
two.
ago.
And you have served in the military or not?
No, I was too old when I came here.
Ah, okay. But you know a lot of people in the military. Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So-
I love the fact that we have a military. Many of my friends, most of my
okay.
friends, serve.
And I'm I know not so much like you about the history of Israel and all of that, but I'm pretty a war buff of myself. Okay, I
Okay.
always follow the war in Ukraine and all of other wars. I'm really a war buff, and I really crack my case now in the usage of guns, ammo, and tanks and artillery and airplanes and all of that. And I gotta say, I never seen someone doing a war like you do. Never
Okay.
in my whole life I've seen someone doing a war with such a complete abnegation of human life because you completely annihilate everything that you have in front.
Okay. That's
And
great. So let's start there. Let's start there. So I understand your
and
point.
I'm gonna say one other thing. I'm I'm really, really, really angry because right now I'm trying to, keep calm and have a normal conversation, okay? Because I know that probably you are a content creator and
Yeah.
probably you are doing a reel or I don't know, whatever.
So you don't want to lose your cool on camera. That's
No, no,
understandable.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Because, I know that you strive on this because I know that if a lot of Jewish people all around the world feel scared and they don't feel like accepted, the Israel won because Israel is trying to pull every single Jew inside of them. So every single Jew hatred thing that happens. Sorry, my English is not my first
Your
language.
English is
So
very good. It's very good.
okay, so every single things that happens to Jew all around the world is probably another Jew that will come to Israel. And I've seen a lot of videos of people that try to sell you this dream of the Israel state, and I don't know if you've seen it. The British something I don't remember that got a Jewish girl and got an interview with someone from Israel that was someone that was selling, I think, or the colonies or something else. I don't remember, some homes in Israel, and he was telling how he
Is it the
did.
declassified documentary? You're talking about
No,
the girl? Yeah,
no,
yeah. She went. No, no.
uh,
I think that's what you're talking about. She went to an Israel expo in the UK, and then spoke to an organisation and asked if she could live in a flat. Is what you're talking
that's
about? When
probably
she's
she
really
was
shocked. Yeah,
the
yeah,
old
yeah, yeah.
video. She was
There's
in
some.
a room with a
Yeah.
computer
It
talking.
was a silly. It was a silly video. Yes, I saw it.
A silly video. Why is silly
Yeah, yeah.
video?
Because we'll get there. We'll get to why it was silly, but first let's deal with the more important thing, which was
Okay, okay, okay.
the charge of you've never seen a war fought like this before, and then we can talk
Yes,
about the
because
leftist
the car of the little the fame. I will choose the
Heinrich
most
Job.
famous.
Yeah, yeah,
I will
yeah.
choose the most famous one because it's more it's easier. It's easier. Everyone knows that. The car of that girl had a number of bullets that not even a base of a general had. The amount of ammunition that you use against a pretty much rock and javelin type army, because Hamas has that. Hamas has AK-47, some javelins, maybe, I don't know, some shit like that, and they don't have shit compared to you. You have one of the most advanced military in the world, and you are not even conservative. No, you are shooting like hell. Everything that moves is fucking turned to pieces.
Okay, so that's what I'd like to deal with, actually. So, would you agree with me that 70% of the buildings have been damaged or destroyed in Gaza?
In Gaza and in other places, a lot have been
No, I'm
destroyed
just going
by.
by with the United Nations
Yes.
report that 70% of the buildings have been damaged or destroyed. So let's say that's true. And you have somewhere like Rafah, or Khan Yunis, or Jabalia, these places that have been razed to rubble. Can we agree with that? You've seen the images where there was once a neighborhood,
I've
now there's
seen,
just rubble.
I think that they are completely destroyed, but you know why we don't have the absolute certainty of that? Because you don't let fucking reporters inside of Israel.
Okay, but let's just we can deal with the reporters.
No,
I just
no,
want to deal with
just
each
a
other.
little, just a little point, just a little point.
Okay, and I think I agree with you. I'd rather journalists were allowed to go in. So that's a point of agreement. So if 70% of the buildings, according to the UN, has been destroyed, yeah, I want to do a little exercise with you. How many people live in Gaza in October 23?
I don't remember the
I
number.
say
Not.
around 2 million. Some say just under, some say just over, but around 2 million. And 70% of the buildings have been damaged or destroyed. So how many people would you expect to have been killed in those strikes and demolitions? And
It depends.
well, it would be 70 if the people aren't
Uh,
warned, if
in
they're not
the
warned, if they're not warned or
normally,
moved, yeah.
normally when you have a warfare, you have like it depends on how, I don't know, it depends how much the shelling continues. If you let people get people from the rubble, if you let inside helping from humanitarian people, shit like that. It depends, it
Yeah.
varies if you shoot ambulances or not, a lot of things.
So okay, but if Israel is as genocidal as you're portraying it to be, you would expect there to be quite a high death toll, wouldn't you? 70%
Yes.
of the buildings have been damaged or destroyed. So let's be conservative and say half of the people somehow aren't in the buildings, yeah? What do you think that death toll will be? Half of 2 million, half of 70% of 2 million.
Alpha 70% of 2 million, I don't know.
700,000,
300,000.
700,000, 700,000, 700,000. So is the death toll 700,000?
No,
Why?
probably the death toll is
Yeah.
not right now registered
No,
and
it is
correct.
registered. It is
No, it's
registered.
registered not as in correct
The,
form and everything
but
is
since the
perfect.
ceasefire started, do you think the death toll's gone, verified death toll has gone up or down since
From
the
the
start?
ceasefire,
Yeah.
the ceasefire probably it should have been down. It
Why would
should
it?
be
No, I
down.
mean, like, have the numbers gone up as they find bodies under the rubble and things like that?
Okay.
You would expect it to go up, wouldn't you?
Yes.
It's actually been revised down. Do you know what the death toll is? 72,000. Do you know how many of those 72,000 were militants?
Yes. Tell me.
No, I'm asking, do you know?
No, tell me. No, I don't know.
I
Tell
know you
me
don't
what
know.
your number.
So
Tell me what your number.
according to Israel, and that's the only number we've got because Hamas don't say, they've killed 30,000 or we've killed 30,000 militants. And do you know how many of that 72,000 died of natural causes, like cancer or other ailments they could have been suffering from? Because they're also included in this death toll, around 5,000. So you've got natural deaths, you've got militants, which leaves around half of them were civilians. So just the reason I'm saying all this is that leaves 35,000 civilians killed in 2 years of fighting in the most densely populated area. The reason why is because Israel made millions of phone calls, dropped millions of flyers, created maps and safer areas like Al-Mawasi, and evacuated hundreds of thousands of people at a time to prevent civilian casualties. Can you remember Rafah when they were saying, don't evacuate Rafah, hands off Rafah, all eyes on Rafah? Israel emptied the city and then neutralized Sinwar. So here's my final question to you, because you said you're interested in conflict and think Israel is very like the worst that you've seen in history. How many people do you think died in Al-Fashir in 10 days? This is at the same time. The Sudan war started the same time as October the 7th war. It was in 2023. It's actually so just before. So how many people do you think died in
Probably a
Al-Fashir?
lot. Probably a lot more because that was a real war between two real armies.
And so how many days do you think it took to kill more people than 2 years of fighting in the most densely populated place on Earth, or one of the most densely populated places?
In 10 days, you
In
said
10 days
they.
in Al-Fashir, yeah.
I don't know.
Highest estimates are 60,000. That's twice as many civilians killed in 10 days in Sudan. And so you're saying that you've never seen anything like this. I'm saying, bro, during
I've
the
seen.
time,
No.
slow down. I just want to land this point.
Yes, sir.
During the same period, there's been a war raging in Sudan, and there were more people killed in 10 years, 10 days, than in 2 years of fighting in Gaza. So if you open your eyes and look around, instead of just consuming what the media is showing you, because the media has been relentless on this conflict, you'd be aware that there have been far bloodier conflicts with much higher
No,
civilian casualty.
you see, you have
Okay,
not
sorry.
get my point. My point was
Okay.
not bloody. I know that a lot of wars have more bodies. Right now, I know that.
You said you'd never seen
Is the
anything
type
like
no
this.
the type of fighting. No, the type of fighting I never seen like
So
anything
how
like
could
this.
if our
This the
intention
type of is the type of fighting. The type of fighting is completely different from the death toll. Because
okay, so then we're just very bad at killing, you're saying.
yes, not like this, but the thing I'm saying is that there is a way of fighting where you are using real resources to win an objective, a military objective, a political objective, or something like that, and use some ammunition, some things. You don't fucking go all in. You are consuming the amount of ammunition in a war that someone else will use in 10 fucking wars. That is
This
what I'm
is
saying, and that and
okay.
if
I agree.
I
So
was
perfect,
prepared for
perfect,
that
perfect,
data, I
perfect. I
have the
agree
data
with
for
you.
that.
I agree with you. We have dropped more bombs on Gaza, used more explosives on Gaza than many other wars. Let's take Al Jazeera's statistics. Yet the death toll is far lower, which shows that we're obviously not targeting civilians. The civilian to militant ratio is 1-to-1. 1-to-1.
I gotta say, I will trust these counts when you will fucking get a lot of reporters from all over the world inside of Israel safe and not get killed. And one other thing, apart from what you are doing in Israel and in Palestine and whatever, that we don't really know because a lot of, your war was the bloodiest war of history for reporters. You know that is a
Really?
fact.
Bloodier than the Holocaust?
For the reporters,
Yeah, okay, perfect. How many Jewish
the
reporters were killed in the
the
Holocaust? No,
the
no, no, no.
Holocaust.
How many Jewish reporters were killed in the Holocaust?
I don't know the number.
Tens of
Well,
thousands. Tens of thousands.
in the modern war, man, you are talking about a war that killed so many people that today is incomprehensible to have a
You
war
just
like that.
said, but literally your words were Israel has killed more journalists than any other war in modern history.
Modern history after. Okay, sorry, maybe I will rephrase it. Sorry, not apart from the Holocaust. Sorry, from modern war after the Second World War. Okay, sorry.
So,
Maybe I did a mistake on that. And another thing, I want to ask you a question because this one touched me in
could you,
more in the
so
relevant because it took some of
okay,
my compatriots some things because a lot of people from even my town, from where I come, were on the flotilla. Okay, on the flotilla, the ships that were coming to Palestine.
yeah, I know the flotilla.
Okay. No, no,
Flotilla,
I don't
sorry.
know if you catch it because my accent. I
I
don't
know
know.
your
So
accent is fine. Don't be apologetic about or insecure about your English. You've got great command of the English language.
okay.
I'm
Thank
arguing with
you.
your logic, not your English.
No, no, okay, okay. No, I was saying, thank you. The fact is, why the fuck you, as Israel, can break whatever laws that you want and you could take ship from Crete? They were in the fucking international waters. You could not take them. Tell me why you took them. Eh?
Okay.
Get
So
me a
can we
reason for
we'll
that.
get to the flotilla in a minute. I want to deal with the journalist first because that's much more important,
Okay.
and then we can get the flotilla. Have you heard of Abdullah Al Jamal?
No.
He was a
Or
journalist.
maybe, but I don't remember.
Abdullah Al Jamal was a journalist that was killed in Gaza. It's tragic, isn't it? A journalist killed by the evil IDF.
I
Would it
don't know.
change?
I said to you that I don't know who he is. Maybe he got killed by Hamas. You were gonna tell me?
No, no, he got killed by
Oh,
Israel.
okay,
100% neutralized by Israel.
okay.
Is this bad?
If someone is killed,
Yeah,
I
if a
think in
journalist is
general,
killed, an Al Jazeera journalist.
yes, it's bad. If a journalist is dead,
Okay.
and
No, and maybe Google it
get
in
to
your
the
own
point.
time.
Oh, okay. He did some evil shit. He was a
Yes,
terrorist.
yes, he did. He was a terrorist, yes.
Okay.
There
You
were many,
couldn't
many
help.
journalists. Okay, I'll tell you who he was. He was killed with hostages, which he was hiding in his house. Many of the journalists, you claim a journalist, you can go on X, just type journalist. Actually, I'll do it now and just show you the journalists holding Kalashnikovs in Hamas uniforms. I'll show you journalists on October the 7th with guns holding Israeli IDs and celebrating jubilantly. Just because you're a journalist, it does not mean that you're not going to be targeted if you murder Jews, if you kidnap Jews, if you harbor Jews. So, yes, lots of journalists were killed in Gaza, but that's because an awful
Not
lot of
only in
them,
Gaza. Not only
an
in
awful lot
Gaza.
of them, just let me finish my point, an awful lot of them were terrorists. Now, I would like you,
Awful lot. The majority. You could say the majority of them were terrorists.
I'd have to look at, I'd literally have to go through, but I've seen dozens. I can say I've seen dozens of terrorists that were
Okay.
journalists. I've also, when I went through, I did a video on this, and I went through, and Facebook so frustratingly deleted my. So, for instance, one of the journalists wasn't a journalist at all that I identified, and I put his face, but he was killed, but he wasn't a journalist. He was associated with Hamas, and I put his Facebook page, like showing him he ran a construction business. Was not a journalist, but found himself on the journalist list. And I showed that, and then Facebook pulled the video. You can still see it on my X. But I go through it, and I showed dozens of journalists from their own Facebook profiles hanging out with Yahya Sinwar at barbecues, holding Kalashnikovs, shooting RPGs. And it's extensively documented. People can still watch it on my X, Israel_advocacy, type from Israel advocacy and then search for a video which says Palestinian journalists. You'll see this. Then the comparison that you made to all wars was from it was Brown University, and they based it on a database which listed some journalists. It wasn't all journalists in all war, which is why they completely didn't document. They had 2 journalists dying in World War II, which is just stupid. And so what you have in Gaza, you have journalists who aren't journalists being recorded as journalists, terrorists being recorded as journalists, and then genuine journalists who are in a very, very fierce battle zone. And obviously, if you're a war reporter, there's a high risk. If you're a war reporter in Gaza, it's an even greater risk. But yeah, innocent. There will have definitely been journalists who are just doing journalism that got caught up in the conflict. I'm not going to pretend that every journalist was a terrorist, but there were dozens of terrorists. There were people that weren't journalists on the list. I extensively document this in a video, which you can watch on my channel. And I also have another video on Brown University, which you can watch.
Okay. But I gotta say, in general, apart from the Al Jazeera and all of those journalists that could be maybe
No, they
terrorists,
were.
like you
Not
say.
could be, maybe. They were.
No.
Yeah.
Some seriously, maybe so much like you say, maybe I don't know. But apart from that, a lot of European and other type of journalists were completely forbidden from coming in Israel.
I agree. We agree. There's no argument there. I'm saying I think they should go in. We agree with each other there. There's no argument.
Okay. At least on this. Okay. And one thing, because before the connection maybe goes or something like that, I don't want to appear in your video.
It's a bit late for that. You consented. You said, I think you're recording. I said, yes, I'm filming. This is going on the internet. You consented. Sorry.
No, I don't have consented it. You have.
I'm not wasting my time talking to you for no reason. We're making a video together. You knew I'm recording. You said, I'm conscious you're recording this, so I want to be careful what I'm saying.
I know that you are a fucking streamer, but I never said I give you permission.
You literally said I'm being careful with what I say. Anyway, it's going on. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it.
There's nothing I can do.
There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. If you challenge it, I will challenge back, and you'll lose because you literally say, "I'm aware you're filming this, and I'm being conscious of what I say." You don't like the way the debate's gone. That's all.
No. It's not that. I don't give a damn. You have prepared. I was not prepared. Obviously, you
No,
can
it's not
win
that I
this.
prepared. This is
The
what I
draft.
do for a living. I'm trying to
Oh,
make
yeah,
the
yeah.
world safer for my daughter from people like you.
Move out of Israel. Move out of Palestine. Sorry.
And this is why you're staying in the video.
Okay.
Are we done?
Probably.
Okay. Enjoy your Jew hate.
Jew hate?
Yes.
Seriously? You
Yes.
think that I'm Jew hater?
Yes.
I'm not a Jew hater, man.
Okay, then
Seriously. Because
explain to me how you didn't even know the death toll in Al Fashir when it was so much worse. Why do you obsess over the world's only Jewish state?
I'm
How
not
many
obsessed
how many Muslim states are there in the world?
A lot. I
How
don't
many?
know. There are 40,
57,
maybe 50.
57, 57, well, 57 in the OIC. Israel is 0.01% of the OIC in terms of land mass. And the entire world is fixated. You just told me to leave the only Jewish country in the world.
But my question is, why should be a Jewish state, man? Today, I live in a country, in Italy, where I've never seen anything happen to any Jew. Never. It's completely safe. Probably safer than you. I've never seen a gun in my life. You see guns and tanks and rockets every
How
day.
many Jews
I've
were
never
killed in
seen-
your safe country in World War II?
Man, I would have been killed too. I'm on a fucking wheelchair from my fucking born. I would have been killed exactly like you. I know that, okay? I fucking know that.
So
But
that's
we're
your
fucking-
country. That's
we're
your
fuck-
country.
We're fucking past that. I know my country did some bad shit.
Okay,
and
can I ask you a question?
I fucking hate it. For
Can I
that.
ask you a question? Are you
Yes.
worried about the rise of the far right in Italy?
Yes, obviously I'm fucking completely crazy about this because I'm really fucking concerned. Yes.
And what happened the last time the far right were in power in Italy?
It happened what happened, and probably a lot of people like me could have been killed. know.
I agree. There's no argument for me. I'm saying
But
I don't want
you
to
know
stay.
one thing, but you know one thing, Zionists in Italy were fucking helping the fascist party because at the start the fascist party didn't have anything with the.
I know it was
Jews.
Mussolini
And
didn't have an issue with the Jews until he got
the,
involved with
the
Hitler. I agree.
Zionists helped them. The Zionists helped them.
So here's the point. This is the point I'm trying to land with you.
Yeah.
In this country, I'm surrounded by my family. And my family will take a bullet for my children. My family will move mountains to keep my children safe. In Italy, I don't trust you. You're a lovely guy. You've got good values. I can see you care about people. I don't trust you to keep my children safe. Because with all due respect...
From who? No one wants
So
to hurt you.
Okay. Can I ask you, do you think there is an issue of anti-Semitism within the Muslim world? The majority of Muslims. Do you think the majority of Muslims in the world are anti-Semitic?
I think that right now,
Right
a lot
now.
of people are anti-Semitic. But
Muslims.
historically, a lot of people, and probably the majority Muslims, you're right. But historically, and you can't argue with me on this, the Muslim countries were the ones that were more open to Jewish people. And you know that. Historically, they were more open to Jewish people.
So by open, what do you mean? Do you mean we were for? For instance, let me just recite some Arabic. لا تبدو اليهود ولا أنصار بالسلام. This is a hadith. Do you know what the hadith? Actually, go better. يا أيها الذين آمنوا قاتلوا الذين من الكفار. Do you know what that translates to?
I don't know Arabic. I don't know.
Yeah. So this is a line from the Quran which says, "Fight the kuffar." The Jews and Christians are included in this that are close to you. But first, the one I said before that was a hadith which says, when you can't greet a Jew or a Christian with peace, and when you meet them on the road, force them to the narrow part. People who say that Jews thrived under Islam are historically illiterate. It's a lie that's spread in the West. Similarly, like Islam is the religion of peace. Islam, that's a modern statement. It wasn't said 100 years ago. I know Islam very well. I've studied it at length. Anti-Semitism is baked into Islam. When Hamas crossed over into Israel, they lived the expression, وَالْمُحْصَنَاتُ مِنْ النِّسَاءِ إِلَّا مَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ. The married women are forbidden to you, the believers, the Muslims, except those which your right hand captures. So it's saying you can capture slave girls, which is why Daesh captured slave girls in Syria, and we found some of those poor Yazidi girls in Gaza. Well, we found one of them in Syria. And so when they crossed into Israel, they captured our girls, and you can hear them on camera saying, not this one, this one's Sabaya, a slave girl, Ghanima, captive, booty. And so I'm saying, Europe, I've been attacked dozens of times in the UK. I've had knives pulled on me. I have death threats on a regular basis, almost daily.
Because you were Jew?
Because I'm Jew, or
because you were you?
For both reasons. Sometimes because I'm Jewish, sometimes because I have a relatively big platform comparative to other Jews in the UK. And so, but it doesn't. So that makes it okay to pull a knife on me?
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that is the reason, because here in Italy, a lot of famous people sometimes
How many famous people get knives pulled on them because of their ethnicity?
The ethnicity, no, but I ask you because you are talking, because you are saying what you are saying. Someone maybe could be against.
So one of the times they pulled a knife on me was because I was wearing this jumper, which says Zionism. Yeah.
Man, if I go around with a big shirt with, I don't know, saying fascist, or I don't know, communism.
People go around with Karl Marx, Che Guevara. No one pulls knives on them. What are you talking about?
If you go in the wrong place, yes, they pull.
Where is anyone going to pull a knife on you for wearing a Che t-shirt? They literally sell them in the high street.
In the majority of places, no. But if you go in Italy, some places.
So I was walking down one of the main street. I was walking on one of the main streets in the UK, like in London. I wasn't in a particular neighborhood. I was in a shopping area, and I had a knife pulled on me because I was wearing this jumper, and I had to talk them down. Every time I've been attacked in the UK, it's by Muslims. So my question for you was going to be, every incident of a Jew being murdered, synagogues being attacked, certainly in Britain, and almost every case in Italy, France, Belgium, wherever, it's carried out by Muslims. So my question for you was going to be, do you support mass migration of Muslims into Western Europe?
I support regular migration.
Okay, what does regular mean? How many? And from where?
It's not a number. It's a specifics. You choose rules, and then who passes them can get in.
So anybody.
No.
So what are the rules?
Allora, you are asking me the rules right now?
I'm asking you what you believe. Your rules, yeah. Who do you believe? What do you support? I'm asking you. I'm not asking what the current Italian government has.
I think that if you don't have any record of breaking the law or anything, obviously, if you stay in Italy for, I don't know, sometimes from some, I don't know, 1 year, 2 years, I don't know, and you don't break any law, you don't do any shit, for me, you can stay. I don't see any problem with that. If you don't break any law, you work, you pay your taxes and everything. Why the fuck should I let you go?
Okay, so here's a question. Someone from Pakistan. The UK, I know the UK, I don't know Italy well, but over 90% of Pakistanis hold anti-Semitic views. Okay. They hold anti-LGBT views. Okay. Do you let them in?
I can't let out the people of Italy that don't have my different ideas from me, I will gladly let them fucking go anywhere. But a difference between me and a fascist is that I have a principle. I have principles that I say some shit is good, some shit is not, and if you pass these things, I mean, you believe in the shit. If you keep it in your mind, or maybe talk with your 2 or 3 friends at the bar, I don't give a shit. If you don't fucking break the law and go to people, I don't want you to die. I don't want you to feel scared. I don't give a shit about that. I don't want anybody to die. I don't want anybody to feel scared. I want anybody to fucking feel free to live wherever they want.
Here's my issue. You asked me why don't I live anywhere except Israel? Because of you. You are my problem. You have made Europe uninhabitable for Jews. You support the mass importation of people who endanger my children. It's not Jews that are going into the Bataclan and murdering innocent people. It's not Jews that are going to my local mosque and my local kosher supermarket. A Muslim walked in, started asking people what their views were on Israel-Palestine. Are they Jewish? Then he tried stabbing them. Do you know what the state's response to that was? He didn't serve 1 day in jail. 1 day. The UK, Western Europe, is not safe for Jews because people who hold your view are incapable of differentiating between an extremist and an ordinary Muslim. And you view nations with 90% plus anti-Semitic views, where 1 million Jews were chased out of the Muslim world. You have no accommodation for these dangerous views. They are far more dangerous than the 5 Nazis that live in Italy. Far more dangerous. Their ideology is more fascist than most of the people you would describe as fascist. But you're incapable of identifying them. And you have endangered my family. So you are the reason why I don't live in Europe and I live in Israel. You.
But you know that a lot of Jewish people live here. And, I read the news. Anti-Semitic
incidents,
attacks don't really, I really don't see pretty much.
Someone was just there hasn't been a murder in the UK in decades, and they just murdered someone at a synagogue I used to go to.
There hasn't been a murder in the UK in decades. What?
Anti-Semitic murder. A Jew killed for being a Jew. A friend of mine got shot in the head at Bondi Beach by Muslim terrorists.
No, I don't know where it is.
Bondi Beach is in Australia.
Okay.
This is the thing. There was one of the biggest anti-Semitic attacks of Australia. Well, the biggest anti-Semitic attack Australia had ever experienced. 2 gunmen, a father and son. Imagine the lovely family conversations they have over the dinner table. A father and son went there with guns and stood on a bridge and started shooting my friends.
I gotta say, it's awful. I don't want this to happen.
But what have you ever done to speak? You said you're against fascism. This is the modern fascism, and you can't even see it.
The modern fascism is what? Muslim that come here and...
define fascism. Define fascism for me.
Define fascism. The fascism was a political party that started here in Italy, that was built,
Mussolini.
And it was a social... in English, it's difficult. 1 moment. Social...
say collectivist. It was collectivist. It was socialist. Yeah, it was
socialist, collectivist, and it believed a lot in the power of the state, of the individual, the Superman.
Have you heard of the Khilafah? Have you heard of the Khilafah?
No.
The Khilafah is the belief that Muslims should establish a caliphate, a Khilafah, on the entire world. The Jews and the Christians are considered alul khitab, we're the dhimma, and we have to pay a jizya, a tax, with no limit until we're sagirun. Is as fascist as fascism.
Let's start from one point. I'm a atheist. I am pretty much against, if you can be against, all religion. Okay,
but they're not all religions are not equal.
Okay, I can agree with that. Yes, probably.
And so
but
I'm
one question. Doesn't Judaism too say that you are the chosen people?
Do you know what Jews say that means?
Tell me.
Chosen to be an Ola Goyim, a light unto the nations. Chosen to spread monotheism. So we are supposed. All it means to be chosen is we believe our role is to spread the belief in God. That's it.
Okay.
But doesn't mean we're the only.
Doesn't put you, bro. But doesn't put you.
No, we're the only religion I'm aware of that believes that you don't have to be Jewish to go to heaven. We believe any righteous people, be they Muslim, whatever, can go to heaven. We don't believe in religious supremacy. We believe that all people are B'Tselem Elohim, created in the image of God, which means we have free will.
You believe in that, but a lot of your politicians don't believe in that. And
so I'm telling you what Jews believe.
No,
I'm not telling you what someone's misquoted on TikTok. I'm telling you what Jews believe. So which politician believes that we're superior to non-Jews? Which politician? Name one.
One moment. I'm really bad. I'm sorry.
Are you going to say Ben Gvir, Smart Rich is usually the go-tos?
I'm really bad with the names, so that
It's
I'm
okay.
really sorry. I don't remember on this exact
I wouldn't
moment.
expect you to know everything. You know more than a lot of people. I'm being hard on you because I see you as a danger, not out of awareness, but I see you as a danger to my children, and that's why I'm being harsh. But I do recognize that that's not your intention. You're not trying to make the world dangerous for my children. You're trying to make the world safer for my children. But I believe you are the reason I had to flee Europe.
Okay, I gotta say, I'm sorry that you had to free Europe from this or that or whatever reason that happened. I don't know. But I gotta say, for me, I think, and I tell you with this all my heart, that what you are doing in a lot of situation is not helping you. A lot of talking, and I gotta say, the first thing that I will do is get rid of Netanyahu. I gotta say, from a proper is from a Jewish point of view. From
But
a Jewish
bro,
point of
this
view.
is the thing. You want to welcome in people that would chop the head off my children, but you want to get rid of. So they're okay.
No,
You
no,
no crap from them.
no. I mean, I have a problem with
But my
them
prime
in
minister, you need to
general,
get rid of.
but I gotta say in rules, man. A lot of people in you will vote for him again if you can. You will
I
vote
never
for him
voted
again.
for him. I'm not sure who I'm voting for. Netanyahu, I think, is actually chases peace more than I think is appropriate. He is desperate for normalization and desperate to appease America. That's my biggest criticism of Netanyahu.
You think that Netanyahu is trying to appease America, and not America is trying to appease Netanyahu?
Of course. America's the global hegemony, the most powerful nation. They control all the strings. They've neutered our arms industry. We could have been developing some of the most advanced military weapons in the world. Instead, we've got to get them from America. And then when we don't do something they like, they start swearing us. Name another another nation you've told Trump to F off. Trump has been
What?
very.
Trump has told the prime minister of Italy that she's a fucking old hag. Man,
Did he use the.
Trump has said everything about anyone. Trump has said
Okay.
that he will fucking invade Denmark. What the fuck are you saying?
No, literally drop an F bomb. I've never heard Trump drop an F bomb against any other world leader.
I think yes. I can't put my hand of fire, but I could fucking bet €100 on that.
Can I just I'm going to spell this out because I don't like swearing. Did Donald Trump use FUCK when expressing anger at Netanyahu?
Yes, it's been widely reported that Donald Trump
Yes.
used that word when expressing anger at Benjamin Netanyahu.
Are you aware of any other world leader Trump has used this word against?
Yes, Trump has been known to use strong language about other world leaders as well. For example, it's been reported that he used similar expletives when speaking privately about figures like Angela Merkel or Justin Trudeau.
No, but publicly on record to the press, not in private, because he said this to the press with Israel. I'm not aware of him saying it to anybody else, but I could be wrong, which is why I'm speaking to you, ChatGPT.
You're correct to note the difference. While Trump has often been blunt or critical of other leaders, publicly using that explicit word in an on-the-record context is quite...
And the reason I'm doing this is Trump is regularly controlling Israel. Biden was the same. We wanted to go into Gaza and kill, and neutralize, eliminate Hamas, and Biden blocked arms to Israel. We are at the whim of America. Now, I'm not anti-Trump. I'm not. I think Trump does some good things. I think he does some bad things. I think
It's not
Netanyahu does some
helping.
good
I
things.
don't think
And
it's helping
Netanyahu does
you.
some bad things. In many ways, yes. In many ways, no.
No, I don't
So
think Trump is
for
helping
instance,
Israel.
for me, if we were pulling the strings, do you think there'd be a ceasefire right now?
Right now, I don't think that neither you or America wants a ceasefire.
No, America wants it. That's why we have it. We do. I don't want it. I want to remove the regime. I stand with the Iranian people. I want to see the regime replaced. I think I've got.
You know that you can't replace the regime. You know that
I've got.
you can't
So
believe that.
you will in
can't
response
really
in
believe
response to
that.
this, you will have lots of Iranians in my chat in the comments get furious at you. I have a pretty large, maybe more on Instagram than YouTube, and this is going on YouTube. You should look. The Instagram videos go to lots of people. YouTube's a much smaller audience. But the Iranians that are watching this will be furious. The Iranians are one of the most downtrodden, oppressed people
I
on the
know that.
planet.
I really know that, but I know
Okay.
I really feel for them. I really feel for them. But the thing is, you can't believe that because I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's in the reality world right now, in this decade, or maybe 20 years, that could change. And you know that you can't win that war because even if you keep bombarding Iran from here to the end of the fucking world, they will probably be able to block the Strait of Hormuz forever. And the country is too big and too populated to be controlled by so small country like Israel with
Well,
so many
we
with
don't
so
want
little
to. No,
people.
no one in Israel wants to
No,
control Iran. We
control,
want the
not
Iranian
control.
people.
Man,
Yeah.
sorry, English is not my first.
Okay.
Control
Okay.
is
Okay.
not my issue. It
Okay.
was not control, but sedate. I don't know how the fuck do you
So
want to say
what I
that.
would say is regime change is a reality. The nation is already divided. There's an internal conflict between the IRGC and the political, and so the, it's an incredibly divided nation. The Kurds and the Arabs are rebelling against the regime. The what I would say is the city, the educated middle class is rebelling against the regime, and the regime has mass support from the countryside and from those that are fundamentalist in the Shia creed. But there is absolutely the chance that the regime could fall. Now, I want to see that. Whether it will happen or not, time will tell. But Israel does not. Israel wants to pursue the war, and all I'm trying to say is America is pulling the strings of Israel, not the other way around. We are completely controlled by America. The U.S. military aid's a great example. They give us aid and then tell us what we have
I
to
don't
do.
know, man. But what do you say about ADAC? What do you say about that? The fact that 80 or 19% of American politicians are receive money from
Do you
ADAC.
know what?
Are
Do you know what
Jewish?
the so? Do you know what the numbers are? The inflated numbers of APAC campaigning. So APAC's official campaigning is
APAC,
around
sorry.
3 billion. The inflated numbers that the anti-Zionists put out is 1.26 million. Sorry, 126 million, 126 million. Sounds like a lot of money, right?
For the American standard, probably not a lot.
I mean, Bloomberg
They
spent
have a
100
lot.
million. Do you know how much the plane that Qatar gave Trump was worth? $400 million. Do you know how much Qatar has spent on universities alone?
No, no, I know that.
$7 billion.
I
$7
know
billion.
that from the. I know
And
that
so,
a lot of Arab money, a lot of all money from all the world have there. But you gotta understand that you can't fucking tell me that you don't have a role in as a Zionist in the American in the American politics because 80 to 90% of politicians took that money and a lot of people.
where does APAC money come from?
APAC money come from? APAC money come from rich. I don't know. Do you say it in English? That religion that is really common in America.
Christianity,
No,
evangelical
not
Christians.
evangelical.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It's not rich. It's usually poor evangelical Christians. They go to their church and they give their tithe, and that money often goes to APAC. So
Which for me is
APAC,
completely crazy. For me is completely crazy. For me, I gotta say, from a European concept
yeah,
of
but
mind,
bro, with
is
all due respect, they see you as a socialist, and they think you're absolutely crazy. So
yes,
it swings and roundabouts.
no, no, yes, yes, obviously.
And so
I
the key
am
point.
probably a socialist for your standard.
I mean, I was raised on Marx and Engels. I know socialist when I say a socialist.
And for you, what I am.
So for me, you're a socialist. You're on the left. I mean, you could be an anarchist, but you're on the left. I don't know where you sit on the left, but you are definitely there. And maybe you frame yourself. We haven't spoke politics. You could frame yourself democratic socialist. You could frame yourself communist. You could frame yourself anarchist. But it would be something that they would brand as crazy, and you would brand them as crazy. And
No,
so,
for me, not their belief. Apart from their belief, giving money to politicians like that is crazy. That is
but
crazy for me.
if their belief is that Israel needs to survive, Israel should survive from a religious perspective, And those that bless Israel are blessed, and those that curse Israel are cursed. That's what the Bible says, and they stand by this. Then you may see that as crazy, but they would probably see that much of what you believe is just as religious and just as great. They would say it is as more crazy than what they believe.
I don't believe the world is gonna end in a couple of years, so I think that I win here.
If Iran gets the nuclear weapons, we'll see.
No, not in that way where the world ends. You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
You
when
mean
I
you
say
mean
that.
the rapture? You mean the rapture?
Yes, I mean that. I mean,
Yeah, I also just I'm Jewish. It's not my belief, but I'm sure I have beliefs that you think are crazy and they think are crazy.
Yes.
But to bring it back to what I was trying to get to with Netanyahu's greatest achievement, and it is commendable. It's very commendable. Is normalization with four Arab states. That's incredible. Like, he's made peace with more nations than all of the prime ministers before him combined. And that deserves respect. However, his legacy is tied into normalization with the Arab world. And I think he's right, because that's the pathway to peace. But that's also led him to compromise and moderate the way we've waged the war. I think we should have gone harder, faster. We should have overruled America. We should have acted as a sovereign. I want to see coexistence in this land. I want to see my children safe. I want to see their children safe. But I think when you try to appease the American overlord, at times you put America first and not Israel. And I want to put my children
so you
first. I know we've lost him. Hopefully he comes back. If he doesn't come back, I think this is a communist. Oh, you're back. I thought we'd lost you. In case we lose you, I'm going to tell you where the video is going to go. I think you're going to get the most mixed response of any video I've ever put up. I think half of my audience is going to really like you because you engage respectfully, you listen. When I push hard, you don't meet my force with force. You stop and you listen. And so I think half of them will, and I think half of them will think you're an absolute lunatic. So I think it's going to be split 50-50.
I said it at the start, if you remember. I said that every type of hate against Jews is completely bad for me. And is bad also for the reason that helps all the selling point of Israel.
This is my biggest criticism of the left, and I'm just going to be frank with you. The left is my best friend. With the 7 neo-Nazis that live in Milan, you would be my greatest ally. I know that you would do whatever you could to keep my children safe from the Nazis that exist in Italy. My issue is the Nazis aren't a threat to me today. The threat to me today is radical Islam. It's Islam, not even radical Islam. It's Islam. It's Muslims. I do a huge amount of my work is working with Muslims on de-radicalization, on coexistence. But I'd be an idiot, and I'd be doing the greatest injustice to my people and my children's safety if I weren't to call a spade and say the greatest threat my people face today is from the Muslim community. And that people like you are completely blind to this, and that's my biggest threat, and that's why I pushed on the immigration.
But the thing is that you gotta understand. Apart from all the other shit that, and now I will say it because you will put it on YouTube. Probably I will try to take it down. I don't know if I will take it, so I will say it right now to make my conscience from my side. I think that a lot of things that in general you are doing, even if they are true, whatever you say today, I don't have the paper on this. I don't have everything studied, and I can trust your word, but I will not trust it forever.
No, if you spoke to a Palestinian, you'd get a different history. We look at the same events through different eyes.
Obviously. And apart from that, I will say one thing, and this one I'm completely certain about this. The way you are acting around the world with Muslim and this type of thinking will not help you, really, I think, because I really think that even if you are right, a lot of Muslim people hate Jews, but I don't think that so many, like you said, hate them. And even if they don't right now, if you keep acting in some way that you do, like don't getting the help needed inside of Palestine. If you break international laws, whatever you want, like we didn't talk about the flotilla. In the moment you broke the international laws of the sea, where you took some ships that you couldn't took, and no one did anything.
So, what I will say is, I don't care for
And
international law.
all of this shit will make put a target on you if you want
I
it or not.
I don't care for international law.
You don't
International
care for
law.
international law,
Let
okay?
me let me explain why. If international law says that slavery is okay, do you think slavery is okay?
I know what your point is. I know what your point is. Not every law is correct, but we
Yeah.
can agree that
I care for what's moral and what's right.
yes,
And I believe I have an objective truth. I have a moral code I follow. I'm a religious Jew. You're probably a moral relativist, and that's fine. I'm sure you don't have objective morality because you're on the left and it's kind of arbitrary. But I do. And what's right for me is we are one of the smallest nations in the world. You can walk across my country in a few hours.
okay.
And the world wants to see it erased. It's the only Jewish nation on the planet. And you're right, the majority of the world is against us. But that only makes me steadfast in my belief
Don't say the
that.
majority of the world. Don't the major, not the majority of the world.
Okay, so
No.
before October the 7th, just to elucidate this point, before October the 7th, so before the Gaza war, before this was the focal point of the world, the
It
United
started
Nations.
before the 7th
So
of
no,
October.
but no, that's not what I was going to say.
It
What I was
revamped.
going to say, I was just going to make a very serious point. In the decade before October the 7th, the United Nations made more resolutions that were critical of Israel than the rest of the world combined. So during that period, you had the Syrian civil war. You had the war in Afghanistan was still raging. You had the what do you call it? Sorry, Afghan and Iraq and Afghanistan, there was still conflict. You had Mexican cartels going crazy. You had wars in Africa which left hundreds of thousands dead. You had North Korea, you had Iran. When you take all of these nations with millions killed and combined all the resolutions together, they were less than this one tiny Jewish country, which at times had a death toll less than 100 people a year. So you're talking a disproportionate interest. The world is against Israel. I think it's prophetic. I also think the world projects its sins onto Israel. You commit genocide against my people, not you, but the European nations commit a genocide against my people, killing 2/3 of Europe's Jews. We're accused of genocide in Gaza when the population's grown and we've moved mountains to keep people safe. We vaccinate 1 million Palestinians in the middle of the war and we're accused of genocide. We're accused of apartheid. The Palestinians have a law banning Jews of citizenship, but we're the ones that are accused of apartheid. I think the world projects its sins onto us. And I think that's religious. It's biblical.
No, man. I will say that for me, the biggest reason because I am against Israel is because you are responding with extreme force to something that you have already beaten. The 10-day war. You know the 10-day war. You have always won every war with so little casualties in your military. You have always won because you were fighting tanks against rocks. That is the fact. All the other wars that you cited were not all of them, but the majority were wars against an army,
We were
against another army, a real army, not a group of terrorists or as some can see them as rebels.
Do you see them as rebels?
Depends on the period. Right now, they're probably gone too far and they're completely gone in the terrorist way.
When were they rebels?
Probably in the, I don't know, in the 50s, in the 60s, in that time period, in that times period, in a lot of all that shit. The line between partisans and terrorists is super duper fine, and you know that a lot of partisans here in Italy, my people, have been called terrorists by German and by Italy government because they were fighting the government. But today we recall them as partisans. I'm not saying that is the same thing, but I'm gonna say just that probably some of them are fighting with that idea.
Well, what I'm going to end with, and I think we can end it here, is Europe is on a crash course, a collision course. You are going to see, unless something changes, civil war, ethnic violence on your streets, and the same jihadi violence. You can laugh, but I can guarantee you, if you look at any of the Muslim nations that surround Israel, they are all gripped with violence. They've been gripped with violence for 1400 years. It's forcing the Jewish community from France is fleeing. The Jewish community of Britain is fleeing. Italy barely has a community to flee. We are the canary in the coal mine. We are the first victims of radical Islam. But it will come for you. Interestingly, when you speak to like the UAE, the Emiratis won't let their children go to British universities. They've banned Emirati children from studying at British universities because they're worried they will be radicalized by Ikhwanis. So the Emiratis get radical Islam. The Israelis get radical Islam. Italy, Britain, Germany are going to be introduced to radical Islam in the most violent way. What you're experiencing at the moment is the drop in the ocean, and you don't see it. And it's gonna be something that haunts your children.
I gotta say, man, you have a way to see it. You have a really way to see it. You are selling it really good, but I don't think this will happen. Not in the.
I hope it
way.
doesn't. I hope it doesn't.
No,
But I think the only reason
I know that you don't want it. I don't know. I know that, but
do you want to know the tragedy of it? I think the only way it doesn't happen is if the far right that you despise gets to power and like in a serious way and reverses policy.
You know that from the moment that the far right has got in power, all the cities, more crimes have arisen. You know why? Because they are fucking encourage it. Because it's a old strategy. Like I said before, you make them scared, and then you can do whatever you want, and you push them. Because a lot of Italian people still think that the real problem is some fucking Algerian kid with a knife, not the Italian mob guy that fucking moves trillions of euros every day.
I can't speak for Italy. I don't know Italy well enough. And you may well be right with Italy. You may well. I know Britain.
It's not only Italy. If you really believe that mafia it's only an Italian thing, you are completely off your mind. Mafia, it's even helping in all over the country. Because mafia, it's something right now that it's bigger than a lot of countries, and probably they are fucking commercing in guns with Israel and other countries, and a lot of that those false flag operation that Israel loves to do.
Like what?
A lot of, like the Mexican embassy.
The Mexican embassy. What's the Mexican embassy?
Mexican embassy, I don't know, in the 2000, maybe late 1990s, there was
the Brazilian community.
No,
center?
Mexican embassy.
I don't know this. It's something I don't know.
Mexican embassy.
Did Israel do a false flag with a Mexican embassy?
Tried. They stopped them before.
No, there's no credible evidence that Israel conducted a false flag operation involving a Mexican embassy. Sometimes conspiracy theories or unverified claims circulate, but no reputable sources support such an event.
Are you aware of such a claim?
Yes, I'm aware that over the years, various conspiracy
with
theories
the Mexican embassy.
The claim you might be referring to involves a conspiracy theory from the 1990s. After a 1992 bombing of the Israeli embassy in Buenos Aires, some conspiracy
That's
theory...
Argentina. That's maybe what I was talking about.
Okay, probably.
I hope I
don't
said
know.
Argentina. I might have said Brazil, but I meant Argentina if I did.
We aren't a
That was
machine.
Hezbollah. That was Hezbollah that did
That
that.
was one. Okay.
Iran.
I will search it later. Apart from that, apart from all this,
Unless you think
trust me,
Israel willingly murdered dozens of Jews, is that what you're arguing?
one. No. Where? When?
Buenos Aires, the bombing.
No. I don't know. I'm not saying anything on that. I don't know that.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe we're talking about something else.
Yes,
But anyway, the key thing was that Hezbollah are mafia. They run a huge section of the heroin industry, as an example. Radical Islam can be just as involved in crime as Christians in Sicily.
yeah, you are saying they can, like, man, the amount of things that mafia built around the world, in Germany, in England, in France, in China, everywhere, different types of mafia have destroyed far more than any Algerian guy could ever do. You can fucking travel across Italy and see fucking monuments of concrete completely abandoned. You know what they are called? Ecomostri, which is translated to eco monsters, which is fucking cathedrals in the desert of concrete, built only to steal state money. That is mafia. That is Italian mafia, and that is the shit that they do everywhere. And you are
we
trying
found
to
some
sell
common
him.
ground.
And
We
you
found
no,
common
you are
ground.
no, you are trying to sell him in the fact that the Muslim is the real problem.
No, I'm saying what I'm being very explicit is you have two cultures that cannot coexist. If you believe in LGBT rights and the other community believes in throwing gays off roofs,
I don't
those
give a
values cannot coexist.
Yes, I don't give a shit about what they believe right now. Probably their sons, their
And
grandsons will believe in something else.
So no.
Will
Why
believe
would
in
they
something
have
else.
they don't? Third generation Muslims in the UK hold the same views.
Man,
Often,
I teach to young kids in the elementary. I seen them with my fucking eyes, a lot of Muslim guys, because the majority of young kids today in Italy are from other countries. Because we
rest my
Italians,
case. You're just arguing my case for me.
we Italians don't do kids because they do, and I see them. They are fucking Italian kids. The only difference is their fucking skin color. They fucking trick.
So why, when polled, did they overwhelmingly think that homosexuality should be criminalized?
Fucking pull me the data, and I will tell you
Okay.
the data, and I will tell you the data of a lot of Italian people that believe that gay people is.
Has there
Don't-
been any polls on the views of homosexuality amongst Italian Muslims?
Probably yes, like Italian people normally. A lot of people hate gay people. A lot of people hate
There
disabled
isn't a
people.
specific poll available that measures Italian Muslims' views on homosexuality. We do know that in general, Muslim minority groups in Europe tend to hold more conservative views on the
Can
subject.
you pull up the data for the poll that was done in Britain, where it was around, I think, a high percentage wanted to see homosexuality criminalized? I can't remember the poll.
But
In a
in this-
2016 survey of British Muslims, 52% said they believed homosexuality should be illegal in
Half of the Muslims in Britain, and that was back then. Britain is far more Muslim today than it was in 2016.
First thing, all the day you have used that. I don't said anything before because you can use it if you want. I don't give a shit. But I really don't like the AI, the intelligence artificials, because they a lot of
I agree.
times
Make
a lot of
mistakes.
times put the fucking ad titles, and the fucking article tells all other shit because you have pulled the 50%.
I agree. I've read that poll before. I'm not aware of any in Italy. That poll does exist, where it's around half.
But
I agree with you. AI is terrible. It told me that the Iran war was a
but
fiction today.
Yes, but you are doing a fucking video to to inform people. You can't use shit like that, man.
I agree. That criticism I will take. I accept
If
that.
you want to inform
On that-
people, you can't use I
No. On that point, I concede. They often hallucinate and give incorrect, and they also try to be politically correct. If you try to get it to talk honestly about what the Hadith, Kutub al-Sitta says, you'll never get an honest answer. Same with Judaism.
Yes, because in England you can say shit against Israel right now. You see all the ladies getting taken away because they're
Are you
saying against
insane, bro? I'm like
in England.
this. I can speak as an authority. You can say, well, there's one group which has been prescribed for terrorism. They literally broke the back of a police officer with a sledgehammer. If you associate with that group, you can get arrested. But otherwise, you're free to say whatever you want about Israel. They literally have hundreds of thousands of people marching down the street.
You see video of people just saying free Palestine and or fucking say
No, yeah, you're mistaken. It's because they're engaged in a protest in solidarity or support of Palestine Action, a prescribed terrorist or group. I'll give you an example.
Sorry. I will cite you here. I don't give a damn about international laws. The laws, if slavery was a law, you will obey it.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't obey it. No, I'm not. I believe you can say pretty much whatever you want about Israel in the UK. Hundreds of thousands of people march against Israel on a regular basis. The Ikhwanis gathered outside, or maybe they weren't Ikhwanis, but they're certainly radicals, gathered outside the Egyptian embassy and demanded the Muslim armies march on Israel and do jihad. And the police's response to this was to get on Twitter and say jihad just means struggle. It doesn't mean anything to do with war. It could just mean they want to go on a diet. It's like they're literally calling for armed jihad against Israel outside the Egyptian embassy.
Yeah.
That's how much freedom you have.
Like you said before, everyone sees their fucking words in a different way. Like you said before, me as a Jew, I see that we are the chosen one in that way that you said before. Other people see it in other way. Maybe the people in that fucking protest see it in that way. How do you know it? Maybe
The Home Secretary who sets the policies goes on anti-Israel marches. You can see her while they're screaming victory, globalize the Intifada,
Yes.
victory to the Intifada, and she stood there with a free a solidarity with Palestine. I've forgotten which of the
Free
banners
Palestine.
it was. It may have been Free Palestine, but anyway, one of the slogans and the Palestinian flag, and she's literally photographed, and she's the Home Secretary.
Yes, man, because they wanted to. Because right now, Free Palestine. What means Free Palestine right now? Free Palestine means stop the war and the Palestine have a fucking place to live without apartheid and without all the laws and
That's
with
not what
everything.
it means. It's not what it means.
For a lot of people means that I can tell you because
where is
I've been-
Palestine?
because
Where is
I have-
Palestine?
you are asking me the border.
Yeah, I'm asking you, what would you consider Palestine? Do you consider Tel Aviv Palestine?
Right now, I don't know the map exactly, but I think that the Oslo agreement was a good agreement.
Okay, so
I think.
this is the reason I think we can handle this because we've done a lot. But the point I'm making is, if you see any Palestinian organization, they never depict Palestine as the West Bank and Gaza, which is what you're arguing for, Judea and Samaria and Gaza. They always depict it as all of Western British mandatory Palestine. So freeing Palestine means the erasure of Israel.
Because a lot of people, they want it free all. Like a lot of Jewish people want it all.
No, not a lot of Jewish people. Not a lot of Jews.
Not a lot of Jewish people don't want.
Want to see the destruction of Israel?
No, they want. No, a lot of Jewish people want all of Palestine for Israel. I was saying.
Oh, sorry, I misunderstood what you're saying. Truthfully, I'm one of those people. But I think this is the best path for the Arabs and the Jews to have peace. I want the Arabs here to have the same rights as me, to vote in the same elections as me. I want them to have complete equality.
You will never give them. You know, right now Palestinians don't have a fucking tribune. They go to fucking military court right now.
That's because that's what I want to see an end of. That's why if they were Israeli civilians, they'd go to a civil court.
You will never give them citizenship. You know that.
So what? What
You
happened
will
to the Arabs
never
of East?
give them.
What happened to the Arabs of East Jerusalem when Jerusalem was reunified?
I know that is some a little like five fucking you took them, but the majority of them you will fucking leave them
Do
to
the
roast
Arabs?
in
Do
the
the Arabs
desert.
in Israel? Do the Arabs in Israel have equality with the Jews?
Have?
Do the Arabs in Israel, so Arab citizens of Israel, there's over 2 million, do they have equality?
In what sense do we have do they have
Do
equality?
they have the same opportunities that I have? Do they vote in elections? Do they have political office, political representation?
Probably them, yes, because they got a good deal in a time where Israel was not so strong. But right now that you are strong and you are deep, we have a saying in Italy: if you se hai fatto 30, puoi fare 31. If you have made 30, you can make 31. Like now, the eggs are broken. You are just want to go and finish the job. That's what you want. Because
So,
if you keep stopping, a lot and lot more people will start to ask and ask more and more and more questions. That is
final thing, just to wrap up my thoughts, which I'm trying to communicate to you.
Mhm.
Do you think the Jewish Palestinians have equal rights in Palestine under the Palestinian Authority?
You mean the settlers?
No, the Jews, the Jewish citizens of Palestine.
Ah, okay. Probably the right and
Do,
probably
do,
not. If you're asking me, not probably no.
do you want to know what right they have?
What right do they have?
Zero. Do you know why zero?
Mm.
Because there's a law that bans Jews from citizenship. So while we have Arabs that have sent Jewish prime minister and a Jewish president to jail, while over half of the doctors and nurses in Israeli hospitals are Arabs, the Arabs, the Palestinians, ban us from citizenship. Article 6 of their national charter. If an Arab sells a house to a Jew, they face death or jail. And so people make these claims, these outrageous claims, that Israel wouldn't give citizenship. Israel has given citizenship, and in Israel, Arabs thrive. I have Arabs who come on here, friends of mine, and advocate for Israel and explain the incredible opportunities they have. Now, not every
And,
Arab that
and
lives...
and you have a lot of Jewish that advocate against Israel. What does mean? You have people from all different
So I would
sides.
actually, on this side, I would agree with you. I would say that the Arabs that love Israel and advocate for Israel are the minority. They're not the majority. The majority, though, are happy. And I think most Arabs living here, if they could press a button and make me and my family and everyone else disappear, not harm us, just we disappear, we're not here anymore, they'd press that button. But that button doesn't exist, and most recognize that actually there's greater freedom.
You will
and
press it for Palestinian people.
I
Probably.
wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. No.
A lot of Israel do. A lot of
You think I do?
Israelis will do.
I
A
recommend
lot
you
of
watch some.
Israelis.
I recommend you watch my videos. I speak about coexistence with Palestinians on a daily basis.
Yes, man. I can understand that maybe you are one of the more liberals Zionists there are. Probably you are the most liberal
I'm
Zionist
seen
in
as
the
like the
world.
most. If you speak to Brits, I'm seen as like super crazy far right, but I'm not. I believe in coexistence. And I
No,
think what was saying the reason I was
listen to
saying
me.
that.
I'm saying
Okay.
you are the most liberal Zionist, which is like saying the most featherless duck for
Okay.
me.
Okay.
Okay.
And anyway, after the ad hominems, the key thing for me is I think the greatest chance their children have of peace is if they live in Israel. The reason I say that is our two nationalisms cannot coexist. This was my point. Every time you see Palestine depicted by a Palestinian, it includes my country, which means the erasure of me. If you look at Jews in the Muslim world, 1 million Jews have been chased out of the Muslim world. 1 million. And if you look at Israel, Israel has 25% of its population aren't Jewish, and those minorities thrive. And I believe the Arabs of Hebron, Al-Khalil, Ramallah, Jenin, Shechem, Nablus, I think they would thrive in Israel, and it's our greatest hope for peace.
I don't think that, but apart from that, what do you think about the Greater Israel? You are saying about you have seen the map of Greater Israel or not?
Well, what's greater Israel? Please educate me.
You have never seen that?
I've seen it, yes.
Oh, okay.
What do you think it is?
I think that is the idea of some far right, probably Zionist people that really trust in this future for Israel. I think.
So it's based on conspiracy theories. There are Jews that subscribe to it, but they're a tiny minority. Do you know what the Bible says, which is what they're basing it on?
Okay, no, tell me.
It says the children of Abraham will inherit the land from the Euphrates to the great river in Israel. Egypt. Do you know who else is the children of Abraham?
I don't
The
know.
Muslims. Spiritually, they believe Muhammad descends from one of the sons of Abraham. And so, according to our biblical prophecy, Israel is ours from a religious perspective. But it also,
Yeah, I know
our
from
religion
the fact that
accommodates
you believe in
the
the
Bible, yes, the Jewish
no, not
Bible.
in the Bible. Not I know that you believe in the Bible,
Yeah.
man. Not in, but you believe in the Rest Solomon Empire and the big temple and the
So every Jew believes in the rebuilding of the temple. It's
no,
fundamental to the
yes,
faith.
okay, but
And when the temple comes, there'll be
didn't you never find it? I
No,
read
we're not
that
meant
you
to find
did.
it. We're meant to build it.
No, I mean, in the I know that a lot of Israeli people believe that a lot of years ago there was the Israel Empire with the
Not
Rest
an empire. It was a
Solomon
tiny kingdom.
a kingdom. Sorry,
But tiny, tiny. It was basically modern
remember
day
that
Israel
it's
was a
not
little
my
bit
first
just.
language. Kingdom.
Okay, fine, fine. Sorry,
I
sorry,
don't
sorry,
know
sorry.
the difference
No,
between
no, no, no.
empire
Okay, fine.
kingdom.
Empire is big. Kingdom can be
Okay,
tiny.
no, no,
Ours was tiny. Okay,
I know. I mean, I know the difference, but the first that pops in mind, I'm
yeah.
not that.
Oh, no, no, no. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, your English is very good. So
Okay,
apologies for
thank
picking you up on that.
but and you because I know a lot of people that believe that that there still is this temple beside the ground and they never
What do you
found
mean?
it.
No, that's not what. Okay, I don't know who you've spoken to,
I,
what, but
I can't
so
explain
we
it. I
believe
don't
that the
remember the
stages
name.
of the temple were as follows. We had the mobile temple, which was called the Mishkan, and that rested at Shiloh. You can go to Shiloh today; it's in the West Bank, Shomron, and you can visit the site. You can see the pottery that my ancestors broke. You can find Hebrew remains there. It's a beautiful place to go. Everyone should visit Shiloh. It's a beautiful place, steeped in incredible Jewish history. Then it moved, and ultimately it landed on where today the Dome of the Rock is. And so the Western Wall, which you see Jews praying at, was one of the supporting walls. I've
Okay,
been under that. They've got a plaza
okay,
which they're excavating, and you
okay,
can visit first temple houses. So houses from the time of the first temple and second temple. When Jerusalem
okay.
was burnt and destroyed, it left a layer of soot. I literally have taken the soot when I went under there and put it on my flesh. You can feel the soot from the destroyer. If you go down the road slightly, you'll find Ir David. Ir David is the city of David that King David built. The land is steeped in my people's history, and the temple stood and was destroyed. And the Jewish belief is when the third temple will be rebuilt, the entire world will be at peace.
Okay.
And that's what we
Okay.
believe and we hope for. We hope for a day when the world is at peace.
Okay. I gotta say, I can't have my world be decided on a religion, first thing. And if you call all the times territorial claims, I think me as an Italian, I would have more claims than everyone else, probably in Europe.
Yeah, because you conquered most of the world. I agree. Yeah, you have. Yeah, but that's not what our claim is based on. Our claim is based on many things. This is that we are indigenous to the land.
You are indigenous
Yes.
to,
Do you know what my haplotype is genetically? My genetics. I've done my DNA test. I know what my haplotype is.
and your prototype is?
So first and foremost, one of my closest relations, according to the thing, famous relations, is Albert Einstein. So just putting that out there for everyone to know.
Okay.
If only I had his brains. And my haplotype is E1B1B, and I'm a subset of that. And so you find that in
I gotta say,
Canaanites.
okay.
You find that in Canaanites. My particular branch, you find in Canaanites, you find in Jews, you find in Levantine populations. And so my family have been out of the land for a long time. 2,000 years probably, maybe even more. But ultimately, we go back there, and we never left the desire to return. And many Jews didn't return. I have Jews that were ethnically cleansed from Gaza, Jewish friends, in 1949. Their family had been there for centuries, maybe millennia. And so Jews have always been in the land. All Jews, or not all Jews, but most Jews trace their ancestry back to the land genetically. And collectively, they never abandoned the hope of going there and returning. We pray 3 times a day for the rebuilding of Jerusalem, the return to Jerusalem. When we eat, when we get married, our entire religious life revolves around Israel, the land of Israel.
I gotta say, this is really where you all lose me, because for me, losing lives of so many people, children, and all of that, your children, like the Palestinian children, to all children, like everyone, all the people that don't have a gun in their fucking hand that die, it's a fucking tragedy. It's a
Have
fucking
more
tragedy
people, have
for
more
that,
Jews,
for religion,
have
like
more
you
Jews
say.
died in
And
Israel
I
or
don't-
outside of Israel in our history? In the last 2,000 years,
obviously outside, because the majority of Jewish people have been killed in the Holocaust. I know
yeah.
that.
But even before the Holocaust, if you remove the Holocaust, more
The
people have still died
the
outside.
pogroms and all of
Crusades,
that. I know.
Inquisitions, Italians, yikes.
Yes, I know. You have been killed, like probably more than other people. Yes,
and
maybe.
so I
But
think
I gotta say,
Israel's
not more than disabled people. I gotta tell you that. Not
not
more
more
than
than what people?
disabled people.
So I don't know the numbers, but I definitely wouldn't challenge you on that because that may well be true historically.
Yes.
I don't know the history, so I don't even want to assume. But it
if
wouldn't take much to convince me that that's true.
if not the normal capacity of a disability, you don't really can't grow bring up a disabled kid in the 1800 or 1700 or whatever you want 100.
Completely agree with you. You've got
So
no
but
pushback.
no, okay, but apart from that, I'm not here for fucking making whichever is the most bad or whatever.
I know. A lot of what you say, I agree with. My main contest, I think my people are safest if it's my people looking after my people. I don't want to come cap in hand to
I
non-Jews,
don't
begging
think
them to
that.
protect me from other non-Jews anymore. I want my people to be able to defend my
And
people.
I gotta say, I really don't understand all the religion thing. I gotta say that too. For you, for Muslim, for Catholics, but here Catholics, they are not really Catholics. No one goes to church anymore. No one is more
No.
anymore
When I speak to my
religious.
Christian friends, that they all told me the same thing as well. But
Yes,
anyway, my brother, I've genuinely enjoyed talking to you. Particularly the Israel-Palestine, I know like the back of my hand, and I know more than. No, I'm not saying this to be narcissistic. I know more than you.
you have
The
you
moral
have
stuff
all
is
the,
yeah. I've read about this for decades. It's like I go to bed reading books about this every night. But the moral stuff I found interesting, and I actually think you as an individual. You're a very decent person. I've enjoyed listening to you. I think you're very open and easy to talk to. And it's been an honor talking with you. We disagree fundamentally on the politics, on probably all politics, but I think we have a common interest in the well-being of all humanity, be it Muslim, Jew, Christian, atheist, communist, capitalist. So I just want to thank you for an interesting conversation.
Okay, yes, thank you for that. But just a little thing. Yes, I am from everyone to explain the idea and everything of that and that. But the moment, and I want this maybe to appear in the video, I don't know this,
Yeah.
that if you break the rights of another people to everything, to the international right. I know that you believe them, but the Geneva Convention, the all those silly rules that we build. I really believe in them, and I know that right now that America is completely crazy and out of control. There isn't a policeman that is endorsing them, even if they were breaking them
I
to
mean,
that
America
occasion.
that's the thing. America is
Yes,
the enforcer of those laws.
yes.
They only work
And
because
with
America says they work.
yes, I know that.
Yeah.
But I think that the Geneva Convention is a really good law. and
I agree.
Israel
I agree
Israel
with you.
should read it
I
a
actually,
little bit more,
I agree with you. I think the Geneva
a
Convention is a
lot
good guide.
more.
I think Israel does adhere, and to its detriment, with the Geneva Convention. And so, when I say I disagree with the concept of international law, what I disagree with, the only reason that is international law, is not because it's morally right. It's because there is a global policeman that is able to enforce it. What stops Russia from going used to stop Russia from going and doing the things that Russia wants to do is America. And when America's weak and can't police it, then you're going to see survival
Yes.
of the fittest.
But
And I think the next power that rises up is probably not going to be as focused on the egalitarian, libertarian principles that America's been built on. And we're probably going to see something far more authoritarian and far more brutal. But I hope I'm wrong. But
I really think that you're wrong. I really, really think that you're wrong.
well, if it's China, we'll
And
see.
if, man, I gotta say, right now, probably I prefer China than America right now. Probably. I will prefer
Unless you're
it.
Uyghur.
Huh?
Unless you're Uyghur.
I mean, if I was black, I would prefer China to America probably. Everyone has their fucking problems with everyone. One thing that I understood in the last years is that not a fucking country in this world saves himself probably from all this shit. Some more than others. I think Israel is one of the ones that is doing a lot of shit. America is probably top one, probably top one, and you are best friends with them.
You heard it here, guys. It's not Sudan. It's not Syria. It's not North Korea. It's not Iran, which kills 40,000 of its own people and the world doesn't even notice. It's Israel. It's the Jewish state.
No, I said it. It's America top one. I said
And then then one of the smallest
the
nations
best
in the world
the
is
best
number
friends.
2 with one of the lowest death tolls. This is what all goes to, by the way, everyone. What it goes back to, anti-Zionism, anti-Israelism goes back to anti-imperialism, anti-colonialism, anti-Westernism, anti-America. That's what it all comes back to from the left. Every time.
Because you are all friends and you are all talk the same shit and you are all have the same goals, probably.
And probably. I disagree, but you think probably. Anyway, it's been lovely talking, and I'll give you that last word, and I'm not even going to argue back. Well, we'll leave it at probably. All right, brother. I genuinely have appreciated your conversation, and I think you've conducted yourself with an
Yes,
open mind.
Kim, I gotta say, I will say good to me because I was really calm. I don't know how I did it. I gotta say it to you
Yeah.
because I'm really more angry about a lot of things, but I choose to
Well, I
alleviate
appreciate
something.
you moderating your emotions because I think it's been a fruitful conversation.
I think that too, because if we start to talk about killing and all that, we will just because I can't talk with you about that and not get angry. Sorry,
Okay.
I gotta say that because it's with my conscience.
Yeah. If only it was for the death of my people as well. But anyway, Habibi, it's been delightful talking.
You can't use it, man. My people died in the Holocaust too. You can't use that card against me.
No, I wasn't using the Holocaust. I was using my people here. Sorry, here.
Okay.
As I said, I know when it comes to the Nazis, you're my closest ally, and more so than
I hate
most.
them. I hate them.
I know, and I believe you, and I genuinely believe you on that
But
front.
as I already said, Zionists were their friends in Italy. So
Yeah, Zionists were the friends of the Nazis. Well, that's where we'll end it.
of fascism, yes. And you can
Okay,
search
you
it.
can.
You can search it.
You
man.
the majority. You do realize the majority of the early Zionists were socialists, though. Yes.
And the Mussolini too wrote for a red for a red newspaper. Then
I'm agreeing with you. There were a handful of Jews.
Handful?
That are Zionists. Yeah, there's a small number. They were the minority that were inspired by European fascism, as there were many Europeans that were inspired by European fascism. It was the flavor of that period, but the overwhelming majority of them at that time were socialist. Like you owe them a debt. Like this Jewish socialism was a thing.
Yes, but I gotta say I don't have a lot in common with the Russian idea of communism and all of that. I really don't like them too. I will say
Are
it to
you
you.
more of a trot?
I am more of a Trotsky, yes,
So he was a
and
Jew.
huh?
He was a
No,
Jew.
I don't have any problem against you Jews. You
So it's
can't
not just
catch
it's
me
not.
on that. I
So
don't
no,
have
I'm just
problem
saying.
against Jews.
My people have helped shape your worldview
And I
from
will say to you one
Christianity
thing:
to.
Trotsky was killed by an Italian. I will say it to you.
So was
And
Jesus.
it was the grandfather of one great actor in Italy.
Yeah,
It was a pretty,
you Italians, you're always killing our Jews. Jesus was Jewish, killed by Rome. Trotsky was.
some people say it in other way that that Jesus was killed by Jewish people. You have to ask different people different
Yeah.
answers.
But anyway, I have appreciated our conversation, brother, and I wish you a good night. And maybe we'll meet again on here sometime. And hopefully you stay calm
I'm
that
not.
time as well.
I will say that I can talk to you, but I'm not your brother, man. I'm sorry to take that from that, but no. I like I said before, it's from my conscience. I'm not your brother,
We'll end it there.
and not as a Jew, I will say it, but as a Zion, because you are a Zionist.
You
not
know
a-
that half the world's Jews live in Israel, and the other overwhelming majority of Jews are Zionist. So it is. There's like 5 Jews that you approve of.
Not there are not five. There are a lot more, but I don't.
Yeah, like let's be generous and say 5% of the Jews.
No, a lot more. A lot
So
more.
really, so according to polling, 82% of British Jews see Israel as central to their identity. Half the Jews in the world live here.
Britain is the country, probably one of the most from on the part of Israel, probably in Europe.
No, probably yes. So the Jewish community around the world, because we have family here, we live here, it's central to our religion. The overwhelming majority are pro-Israel. They're Zionist. You know this, I know this. So when you say I can't call you a brother because you're Zionist, you're saying there's a 5% of good Jews that I can call a brother. The rest of you I condemn. You're not my brothers.
I'm not saying good Jews. I'm just saying that you have an idea that
Jews
I'm
that are-
not.
Yes,
I
but
don't.
that's
I
most
really
of the
don't
Jews.
believe.
You accept that's most of the Jews in the world.
The majority, maybe, not most. Maybe,
Okay, so the majority of the Jews you won't call your
maybe
brothers.
the majority.
Not maybe, yeah, definitely the majority, and you won't call them your brother.
Yes. The
Okay.
majority, the
We're
majority,
done.
of, the
We're
majority
done.
of it, the majority
We're
of
done.
Italian people, the majority of Italian people vote for the right. They are not my brothers too.
Okay, that's all. That's all we need now. Okay, thank you.
That's all we need for what?
But no, you put your case out there. There's
Okay.
5% of Jews, or whatever it is, 10%. It's not, but it's less than 5. You'll call your brothers. The rest of us, we're not your brother. Are we our
Yes.
enemy?
Enemy. I don't
I'm
have
just-
any. I don't have any enemy. I don't.
Well, you
have an
kind of put us in
enemy.
the same category as the far right, and they're your enemy.
They are not my enemy. They have different
Ideologically, so you're not politically opposed to the far right.
I am opposed, but an enemy.
Do you believe in meeting the? Do you
I
believe in
be-
meeting the far right with violence in certain circumstances?
I believe that if they are violent, I can defend myself. I will never start violence from first.
Okay, and so just to conclude that, so this is a community you would meet with violence. You don't consider them your brother. The Jews, you don't consider the majority of Jews your brother either. Yeah, are we in the same category as the far right,
The Zionist,
which is most Jews in the world? Yes.
you can keep saying that, but Zionism and Judaism are two different things. I can depart. I can take apart from one from another. I can say
Okay, but if most of the Jews are Zionist in the world, you can. If you choose to try and make that, to tell Jews what we are and we are, that's fine. You can do that. But most of the Jews believe in the existence of the state of Israel, support the existence of the state of Israel. That makes them, by definition, a Zionist. And you're saying they're not your brothers. I just want to be crystal clear on this.
I will say I will put the on this one. You can quote me. You can quote me whatever on this one that I will say right now. If you call yourself a Zionist, you are not my brother.
And this is why I'm glad we're not in Europe. All right. It's been lovely chatting.
Bye.